Warning. The following podcast just texted you an emoji of an eggplant with the phrase, "You up?" This is Crudimentary Questions with your hosts, Sandy and Jill.
Hey, Jill.
Hey, Sandy.
All right, I have a question for you today.
All right.
How would you define a fetish?
Ooh. I would say that it's something kind of out of the ordinary sexually.
Okay.
Sexually out of the ordinary. So, missionary style, we're going to go ahead and say not a fetish.
Not a fetish. Well, okay. Sorry. I actually do know the definition because I just literally...
Cheater.
I looked it up.
Cheat.
No, I looked it up because I wanted to know.
All
I
right.
just wanted to have a slightly informed #kind of research. I just wanted to have a slightly more informed.
Sure. And now I will say that Sandy is now an expert in fetishes because she just Googled it.
Yeah.
On her own.
The dictionary definition popped up.
Got it.
The definition is basically something that causes you sexual pleasure that isn't itself sexual.
Got it. So what would be one that you like that you've never tried?
Oh, you're just turning it on. You're just turning it around on me.
Yeah, I do.
You do.
That.
You do that.
I
Okay.
do that.
Okay, something that isn't itself sexual that I sexualize often.
No, you don't have to ever have done it. You could just fantasize about it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we talked about how I used to masturbate with a shoe. So that's a thing.
That wasn't a fetish. That was desperation.
That was desperation. It's true. You're right. You're
It
right.
was there. You were there.
It was.
You locked eyes with the cow shoe.
I did. I locked eyes with the cow slipper. It's not a. Okay. I hope this counts. And people in fetish and kink communities, I dearly hope you understand that we are only trying to understand you. We are not trying to make light of your enjoyment, and we're not trying to, be ignorant at all. But I will say that I have this fantasy where I have sex wearing a very short skirt.
Ooh, okay. I mean, that's sexy.
Yeah, but it's the skirt is the thing that makes it so hot.
Yeah.
Obviously having sex is hot, but there is a level of hotness that is added when you factor
when
in
you have the cover up.
when you've
effect.
got it's a slightly covered up aspect of a skirt.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's a pretty understandable fetish, I think, because that I've done that. Well, not necessarily. I have worn lingerie.
Sure.
And I'm a big fan of just the slip lingerie, you know?
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to all the ones they sell with the buckles and the strappies.
It's a
and
lot. I mean, the buckles, I will say
pieces and
the buckles look really sexy.
yeah.
In practice, it's complicated.
It's complicated. I like to just be comfy
Yeah.
in a slip.
You want easy access.
And then it's easy and it's nice. I don't even have to take it off. I just...
Yeah, you can slip in and out of it. That's literally the definition of that garment.
Yeah. Okay, but what's even, quote unquote, more left field that you would be willing to try that is a fetish?
Well, I am concerned about getting the definition wrong, but I have had fantasies about having sex in public.
Having sex in public. Okay. So is that like sex in a movie theater where people are around when they don't know you're having sex?
Movie theaters are disgusting
Okay.
and full of children,
Yes.
and I don't and terrible movies for the most part.
And that's why you have sex in them.
No, I
just kidding.
don't. I don't wanna. I had my first kiss in a movie theater watching Beverly Hills Ninja.
Yes, we've talked about this in the virginity episode. I think.
Can't remember the episode, but yeah. And it was fine. But I will say that my desire does not spike in a movie theater. I would say, this is so cliche though, a dressing room.
A dressing room.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Like at Macy's.
At
Not
Macy's.
at Abercrombie and Fitch.
that's specific because Abercrombie and Fitch has really bad music playing.
Well, also they have
And really loud.
Well, they also have the people that walk around and is like, "Can I take those for you?"
But would it be exciting for you to be having sex in the Macy's dressing room and then the lady like knocks during and you're like, "I'll be fine."
No. Honestly, I would prefer to not get interrupted.
Okay.
But you know,
Are you loud
no
intentionally or trying to be quiet?
trying to be quiet.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. That's
where
what it is.
The hotness comes from. Like he's covering up my mouth.
Okay. Oh, okay. So the base level that I'm getting that's helping you
Yeah.
with this is that it sparks a need to suppress your like maybe I mean I'm not trying to analyze you necessarily, but maybe it's like a nice thing to have like a suppression of being able to, you know, normally you're like, ah!
Yeah. Well, because
But then you have to be quiet.
The truth is there is like, and I'm not like a super loud orgasmer in general.
I just my example of you orgasming was ah because that's how people orgasm, right? It's just ah.
It's not. No. I've told you before. I'm a grunter. It's not super sexy. If you recorded me, I probably wouldn't want it played like for the public. But it certainly wouldn't be but it would be, you know, kind of groany and you know. But the idea of having like that suppressed is. I don't want it every time I have sex, but sometimes, yeah. That sounds really sexy to me.
And I like how you picked dressing room as opposed to bathroom because
No.
you have a problem with bathrooms.
Bathrooms are not for sex.
And because there's drains. And
There's
you hate
drains. No, well, there's drains. There's so many other kinds of holes.
But a dressing room is a good choice because it's nice and clean. You could bring clothes in there and like lay on the clothes if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm worried that people have been having sex on clothes in the mall.
Yeah, it's probably happened.
It's probably happened.
You've probably tried on like a nice blouse with jizz on it
Okay.
at some point.
Next time we go shopping, I'm bringing a black light.
Yeah, let's totally do it. We'll take a video. We're just gonna blacklight all the clothes at Macy's.
You know, I think that we'll probably strike out at the mall. We'll have to go to something like a little more, like maybe a Target. People fuck at Target.
No, a Burlington Coat Factory.
A Ross Dress for Less.
Oh, Ross Dress for Less.
People are getting it.
People are getting it the fuck on at Ross Dress for Less. You know what? They're also probably doing heroin.
I shop at Ross Dress for Less. It's a good place.
It's a great
to
place.
Get discounted. Really nice clothes that actually I feel like it holds up better than the Target clothes I get.
They do because they're their name brand that like maybe had a problem, but
those dressing rooms
they're a shit show. I mean, it's the Wild Wild West.
It's the Wild West
at the Ross Dress for Less.
I would argue they might be filthier than a public restroom.
I think they are.
Because no one goes in there and Windexes them and
no, nobody at the end of the night is like spray.
So okay.
Anyway.
I wanted to talk about what I would be interested in fetish-wise that I've never tried.
Sure.
I am in full support. Like Sandy says, we are trying to respect the fetish community. Mm-hmm. I mean, technically, we could all be part of that community because we're crazy creatures
I think if people went with their gut a little bit more,
Yeah.
you know, and just were like, what do I really want? And they talked with their partners and they were communicated with their partners and all of that, I think we would all be a little crazier.
So I want to go in this saying, I'm not trying to make fun of anything. I want to join in. I
Yeah.
want to be a part of it.
Let us in.
For reasons that don't matter. I just haven't had the opportunity.
You want to. That's all that matters, is that you want to.
Okay, so I've been interested in the furry community.
Holy motherfuck.
Because A, they don't always just have sex. Sometimes it's just a little dry humping.
A little hump.
And that's friendly to me.
Yeah.
That's nice and friendly. And B, it's almost like, because I was obsessed with the Disney movies and a lot
Sure.
of the ones that had to do with animals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of like stuffed animals, Disney movies. Okay, let's just go back to Jill when she was 8.
Yeah.
I had a huge effing crush on Robin Hood.
Oh, well, I mean, we all did.
The fox.
The fox. No,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Fox Robin Hood.
So I could
with
see
his
myself.
wacko long torso.
If anyone, like at a furry convention, was dressed up as Robin Hood Fox version, I'd be like, hi, can we exchange numbers?
Yeah, like we need to exchange info immediately. No, I would too, and I have no interest in the furry community. But like,
Oh, I
yeah.
know. I mean, well, like, and I should preface this by saying, not interested in necessarily penetrative sex in the
Sure,
situation.
but like the whole of it,
connection.
you know, yeah.
It's interesting to me.
Well, almost every kind of like sexual like fetish, or I just did air quotes, you can't see them, but or like preference or something has so much more than just penetrative
Yeah.
sex. It's like all of like it's so much more about how you connect to people.
Yeah, honestly, like a good spooning session would be
Yeah.
nice. Would be like a cuddle.
Uh-huh.
Especially in those costumes. Although they probably get really hot. And there is a moment when I'm cuddling. It's about 10 minutes into spooning and cuddling where I'm just like, okay, get off. It's too hot.
Yeah. I can take about 11 minutes of a good snuggle.
But maybe if we were in like a freezer, that would
Even
work
then,
out.
oh good lord, it just starts to like the sweat. But
Yeah.
I mean, you know, to each their own. But I mean, I'm sure in those costumes, like that is they have probably ways to communicate with each other where they just are like, all right, good, we're good. But that they got what they needed from that interaction, and that's the important thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, does that fit the definition of a fetish for sure for you, Sandy?
Well, it's not my definition; it's the internet's definition. But I think so, because I think it's taking the idea of like a costume suit and saying that this is now this is sexualized in some way when it otherwise wasn't, you know. But it everything goes deeper than that.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm, you know, like it makes me curious about like the kink community, because everything goes deeper than that.
Right.
Like,
There's a reason for why something turns someone on.
Yeah.
Right? Like maybe a base reason.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I just love being cuddly.
yeah,
And sweet.
Well, it doesn't have to be the same reason for every person.
Oh, no, I'm
either.
not saying that.
Yeah,
But, you know, and you like being naughty.
I like being naughty. Yeah,
And like, ooh, secretive maybe? I don't know.
yeah. There's definitely a, I wouldn't say secretive, but naughty is definitely like breaking rules is kind of a
Bad
hot thing.
girl.
Yeah, like I've got like I could definitely get down with like some
Teacher?
porn.
Ooh, let's talk about role play. Oh, this is another one. I didn't even think about this.
Sure.
I've always wanted to do the role play thing
Yeah.
where we pretend we don't know each other at a bar and then he picks me up. I want to do
You should.
that.
I want to do that.
Please. I just fear that like it's too much to ask of someone, you know, to do
Well,
that.
if they're into it, they're into it. If they're not into
they're
it,
not.
yeah.
And I kind of have to be okay with
But I have to say, my ex, he did that once. And it was
Lucky.
Yeah, I know. But I feel so dumb because we were talking pretty recently about how like you get into your 30s and you like know what you want. And you just want to slap your 25-year-old self for like not saying what you want, just like, oh my God, talk. But when we first got together, Jill, I was at one of your band's shows.
Oh.
And I was working the merch table.
Oh.
And for some reason, he came up to the merch table and acted like he'd never met me before.
Like playing around.
Yeah, and he like laid it on thick and was like flirting with me like hardcore, like, and I was dating him.
Nice.
But he was just like,
you went along with it.
I did. No,
yes-anded.
We yes-anded together, and it was so fucking hot.
See, that's kind of how it probably has to go about. You can't really plan it.
No, but you can plan it though.
Okay, but this is kind of what I was thinking.
Okay. Tell me the whole thing. I'll set it up for you.
Okay, like I want to be a character. I don't want to be myself.
Oh, sure.
And I want him to be a character. I don't want him to be himself.
Okay, do you want to be a secret agent?
Yes!
Yes, you do. Of course you want to be a secret
I'm sorry,
agent.
I clapped into the mic. Okay. I want to be a secret agent, and he's also a secret agent, and we're on the same job.
Okay, but you have to find each other.
And no, like, he's being paid by a different entity.
Oh.
And we're in competition with each other. I guess it's kind of like...
So you're both assassins? Or
yeah.
What is your mission?
To kill a man.
Yeah. All right, so you're both trying to kill somebody.
Yeah.
And so you meet up at the bar.
Oh my God, this is the plot to Mrs. and Mr. Smith, isn't it?
That movie with the people, right?
Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt.
I don't think it's exactly the plot, but I think it's close. But
My role play
anyway,
story is so cliche.
no, it's fine. I love it. So you are. What is your name? Are you Jillian in this fantasy?
I haven't come up with a name.
Okay.
It makes it too real, and then I would really want to do it, and then
Yeah.
it become a thing. But it's something that I could even see myself just coming up with a character on the spot. Even
I think that's what you should do. I think you should improv because you're so good at improv.
Am I?
You are.
I did do prop comedy in high school.
Prop comedy. I was more referring to all of the raps you do, but whatevs.
Oh, the raps. They're not raps. They're like dumb poetry.
No, I know. We have discussed but I have an affection for your raps that you don't share. You are very good on the spot. You are sharp. You are fast.
Oh,
and you're witty.
You.
So I think you could come up with so many things. It depends on what your partner wants to do.
Yeah, and that's like that's the thing about some fetishes is I think that's why people are scared.
Yeah.
When they're young, especially, is they're scared of being rejected. Mm-hmm, they're scared of their fetishes not lining up.
Yeah.
And to which I would like to say, don't knock it till you try it.
For the most part. I mean, and I think we are part of a generation that is much more like sex positive and open than even like 10 years ago. So like people who are about 10 years older than us are a little more reserved about everything. But, people 10 years younger than us are probably talking pretty openly about it, which is great.
That's
because,
true.
I think the more communication you have with anything sexual, the better.
Absolutely.
Because
it's hard to talk about sex.
Well, yeah, and sex can be very messy and very complicated. But I mean, you've probably been in a situation where you were doing something sexual that you weren't completely comfortable with.
Yeah.
And you didn't want to say no because you didn't want to be like a bitch or prude. And I've been in that situation before too, but also I've been in situations where I was with a guy and I wanted to go further and do something weirder. And I felt like if I asked, he would call me a pervert,
Right. Well, and I think that, but here's the thing, like, I've been in a situation where I was exposed to something kinky.
Yeah.
Okay, there were fuzzy handcuffs involved.
Oh
Let's
my God.
just say that.
Love it.
And I was like, I don't know. And then we did play around.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like this.
Oh, yay.
So I think that you kind of have to be a little more open, unless it's completely against everything that you stand for. Or
yeah,
something.
well, you and I have talked about the power of ick.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, and
Yeah.
that, like, when your body says ick and
Yeah.
it means it, that is the line, and you don't cross it. That's your boundary.
Yeah.
And there's no shame in saying ick. But
Yeah.
when your body says yes, there's also no shame in like saying okay. Yeah.
And you know, there's also no shame in being like, let's try it. I don't even know if I like it.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. If I say no, then it stops.
Then it stops.
You know? But that's why, I mean, it's all about consent and communication. But when you have consent and communication and, you know, open minds in a sexual relationship, then you end up, well, you probably end up with fuzzy handcuffs and a lot of lube in a lot of places, and it's great. It's just wonderful. Yeah. It's just truly wonderful. But I mean, yeah, communication is where it's at. But I mean, yeah, if you want to fuck a shoe, then fuck a shoe.
Oh my gosh. So, have you seen the movie 50 Shades of Grey?
Okay. So I started to watch it. It was on HBO. I had HBO at the time, and it was so boring.
Yeah.
That I fast forwarded to the sex scenes.
And there's not like a lot going on there.
No.
I was super I knew it wasn't going to be a porn. But it was confusing as to why this, and I haven't read the book.
Yeah, I didn't.
Because I didn't want to be that cliche. By the way, this is funny. Okay, can I tell a story real quick?
Sure, tell a story.
Related. We're on an airplane.
You and
my husband.
Yeah.
We're on an airplane to some destination, I don't remember where. And my husband's listening to music, and I'm like reading a book or something. And he drops a note in my book. Weird. I didn't even notice he was writing, for instance.
Sure.
And it just all of a sudden appeared in my book. And I look at it, and it just says, "The lady behind you is reading 50 Shades of Grey." And I gotta tell you, that was the funniest shit I've ever.
How did he know?
Just looking around, I guess.
Observant man, I
Yeah.
suppose. Well, I went on a cruise with some friends of mine, and one of the friends' wives was reading 50 Shades of Grey during the cruise. Like, it was her cruise book.
Did you get a review from her on it?
We did.
Okay.
We had a daily check-in with what was going on.
Yeah.
And I would be like, "So what's happening?" And she's like, "It's getting saucy. It's getting saucy." But I have heard, I haven't read the book myself. I have heard that it's not particularly well written.
I believe it.
And I will say that the film was really boring.
Very, very boring and confusing to me.
Well, they just, like, it's a lot of pretty looking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I think it's 2 sex scenes, and they're not even
Like that gratuitous. at
yeah,
all.
like you see I don't remember her name, but the actress, she's a great actress, and I really like her in other stuff, but you know, she shows like, you see her boobs, and they're nice, and then there's some whips and stuff, but you never see the guy's dick. Like,
There's more frontal nudity in one single episode of Game of Thrones.
it's true.
than the
It's-
entire 50 Shades of Grey movie.
It's
Not that frontal nudity was, well, honestly, it was expected. I wanted to, you kind of, you
Yeah.
want the nudity.
I did.
It's a sex movie. It's
I
a movie about fetishes.
The entire film was supposed to be about this, like, dirty, I really am, like, crazy air quoting that, dirty sex, and none of the sex was dirty.
Oh,
to
like
me, I
dirty,
mean,
you mean naughty?
like, yeah, like naughty.
But
I
it's
guess
S&M.
Yeah, but I suppose he had a room dedicated to it, which okay, that's cool, but like I don't need a room dedicated to that to get like slapped on my ass during doggy style.
It was,
You know?
it was just confusing because he wanted her to be his sex slave.
Yeah.
But he wanted it to be, obviously it's consensual, yes.
Sure.
But like, she's submissive, but she also asks for it. But, oh, okay. There's a lot going on that I don't understand. And maybe I just don't understand the S&M community.
Well, and maybe I didn't watch the movie close enough, but I will say it was boring.
Yeah.
And most porn I've watched is more emotionally in depth than that film. So
Isn't that funny?
mm-hmm.
It's worse than a porn. Like, it's worse story-wise.
Yeah.
than just a dude showing up with pizza.
Yeah, well,
Like, I'll watch that.
but most of the porns I watch are not dudes showing up with pizza. They're more like relationship dynamic, weird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Send me that link.
Yeah. I will. But anyway, so we are going to get on the internet
Yeah.
and we are going to find out. We're going to read the definition of fetish again. And then maybe we can
look some up.
Look up some furry stuff.
Well, we could look just up some examples of fetishes.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll learn some.
Oh, the most popular ones I think would be very...
Ooh.
Because it turns out we probably have them.
Yeah, like, I don't know some of them that maybe I already have.
Yeah.
I didn't know was a fetish. I just
We're
thought
like,
it was.
we're just gonna be like, this is great. I'm so glad that I'm one of many people who enjoys this wonderful thing.
Exactly. All right, we will be back.
All right.
This podcast is brought to you by boobs.
Perky and saggy, big and small.
All colors of the human rainbow.
May they continue to feed the world in all the ways they do.
Wow, it's inspiring.
And they really feed the world with the milk, but
Yeah.
also with joy.
Oh, that's so true. Such joy with their soft suppleness.
Yes, joy and squishiness.
Well, if you would like to learn more about boobs, follow us on crudimentary questions.com. It's a website.
Go there.
Go there.
And now let's go back to the show. And we're back.
Heck yeah, we are. And I just Yahoo answered a bunch of fetish questions.
Heck yeah, you did.
Mainly, what is a fetish? So,
Sure.
Sandy did her own, or looked up her own definition, but I'm just going to reiterate here.
Sure.
A fetish is something that arouses sexual desire in some people, something that isn't normally viewed as sexual, such as certain objects, acts, or body parts other than the genitals.
Like a shoe.
Like a shoe, like a cow-shaped
Like a
shoe.
cow slipper.
So examples that this person lays out are foot fetish, and that's people that find feet to be erotic.
Okay, I'd like to stop you right there.
Mm-hmm.
Joe,
Yeah.
I have known at least 3 men, personally, who were kind of obsessed with my feet.
Your feet are very small
They're really small.
and dainty.
Yeah, I was going to say dainty.
Yeah, they are dainty.
Yeah, and honestly, like, this is one of those things that you don't think about. This is totally, you can't exercise, like, your feet, right? This is just totally, like, genetics at work, but, like, my toes are all
They're
really,
cute little pigs.
they're really in line. I have lovely feet. I have no idea where they came
What
from.
size shoe do you wear?
I wear about a 5.5.
Oh, a very baby.
Yeah, I got little baby shoes. Sometimes I buy shoes from the kids department, which, okay, doesn't help with the foot fetish thing. But I will say that I have had at least 3 men who were not sexually involved with me offer to give me a foot rub.
Okay. Did you accept?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, because why would you turn down a foot
You don't
rub?
turn down a foot rub.
I mean, unless I guess they rubbed their dick on it and you didn't want that.
Yes, I would have said no to that. But they were just rubbing it with their hands, with their big, strong man hands. And
I mean, would you be opposed to them getting hard at doing that? Or would that freak you out?
well, at the time, it would have freaked me out. But now, I think that would be great.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be super into.
You've come around.
I have.
To
And
the
I hope,
foot fetish.
and I hope he's come around too, or whoever. Like, no, it's true. Like, I think that was probably the first like fetish I was ever introduced
Exposed
to. Yeah.
Well, and I want to keep going down this rabbit
going,
hole.
yeah.
Because why is the foot fetish one of the most common fetishes? Apparently, it is the number one most popular fetish.
It's because people have feet.
It's because apparently, or this is the best answer on Yazoo. Yazoo. Do y'all remember Yazoo? Wait, no, that's a beer.
Yeah.
Edit that out. That was dumb. I was thinking of Yoo-hoo. That's what I was thinking of. Anyway, fetishes are developed in the very early childhood years, as early as 4 or 5. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Oh.
Well, this is a
Well,
Yahoo.
that makes sense. I was attached to a stuffed animal when I was that age.
This is a Yahoo Answers person though.
Yeah, his name's John.
John. Is
And this
John
was answered 5 years ago.
Is John referencing anything?
Hashtag legit.
Legit. Yeah.
No, but this has more information
Okay.
that I...
Continue, John. Continue.
You guys, like, this is Yahoo Answers. This isn't science.
Yeah.
So we're just going with what this person says. We're going to yes and the internet. Foot fetishes are very common because very often during the early years, the young boy or girl, although girls are less commonly
Into feet.
into feet, they often spend a fair amount of time very close to women's feet. Usually moms, specifically during the crawling age. Pleasure becomes linked to that experience, and as the child matures, so does the fetish, and it becomes a large part of his or her sexuality. Sure.
I mean, I also feel like you could say the same thing about like table legs and like chairs.
I mean, there is something to when you're that age. Let's talk about boobs, because
You suck on them.
I like boobs. I think boobs are hot.
Boobs are very hot.
It might have had to do with the fact that I, was breastfed. Maybe. There's something there, right? Like boobs aren't necessarily needed for sex.
Well, people
So-
have been talking about this kind of thing for a long time. Is like, why are genitals attractive in any way, shape, or form?
Boobs aren't genitals, though, Sandy.
I know, but like asses aren't either, and we like asses.
Yeah, that's another thing.
We don't, and like, aren't you like?
It's true.
We've talked about you get turned on by a good clavicle, right?
Clavicle.
I know. Like, I mean, sure, I'd rub my pussy on a good clavicle, but like, I know it's not a genital.
A shoulder, like a good shoulder.
A good shoulder, like a neat jawline, like when a guy moves his leg and you see like the separation of the muscle like on the thigh.
or that like pelvic bone indentation. A la that music video that I can't think of, D'Angelo music video.
Yeah, we all know. There's some just lovely human flesh.
There's some lovely
on
body
on
display.
display. But that's what
Anyway.
I'm saying. It's like so that's not a fetish, right?
okay.
Unless you want to fuck the clavicle, unless you actually want to take the clavicle.
Well, no, I don't think that penetrative sex has to happen to have a fetish about something. It just can turn you on. All like that definition that I read earlier is when it's not normally viewed as sexual. So yeah, a shirtless man
is gonna be
is normally sexual. But other body parts other than the genitals can be like
feet.
Like maybe being an ass person. I was going to say ass man, and I was like, no, I want to be inclusive.
Yeah.
Ass person
I'm
sounds
an ass
hilarious.
person. I like asses of all kinds.
Maybe, I mean, obviously there's other fetishes. So more common fetishes, or other examples of fetishes are foot fetish, as we said.
Sorry, still according to John from Yahoo Answers.
Oh, no. This is according to Sexy One.
Oh, from Yahoo Answers. All right, Sexy One.
Good answer.
Give us what you got.
Mask fetish. People find that wearing masks excite them sexually. Sadomasochism. People find pain, giving and receiving pain, sexual.
Sure.
So, okay. Oh, it's kind of... Okay. Someone's saying, I have a shoe fetish. I'm like, so does Sandy.
I don't anymore. I did for a little bit. I was desperate.
Okay. Okay, someone says, I'm a furry. People generally think we're pretty odd. It's like, aw,
Oh,
you do you, man.
yeah, you do you.
Okay, this person has a miniature chair fetish. The little chair had to be just an exact size to excite. Oh, I actually once knew a guy who had a miniature chair fetish. The little chair had to be just an exact size to excite him. Too big for a Barbie, but too small for a teddy bear. He just loved those little chairs, and he had a favorite that he had to keep on a shelf by his bed. That's awesome.
That's
Honestly prime fetish material.
That is prime fetish material, but I also feel like I'm worried that the chair is gonna like get hurt in some way, and then he won't be able to find another chair. You gotta protect that
it's gotta
chair.
Be the perfect chair.
Yeah, he's got the perfect chair. He should get multiple of them made. You know, like I feel I'm scared for the chair. I will say that. But I would like to discuss the pain fetish actually.
Right. Examples of pain fetishes: hair pulling, spanking, which I'm into spanking.
I'm super into spanking.
I don't care if I'm spanked or if I am spanking.
Oh, I know.
I don't care.
Yeah.
But it's the spanking is specifically hitting the butt, right?
Yes. Yes. For myself, that is what that is. I have not moved beyond spanking the butt. Either myself or someone else. But
definition of spanking.
Oh my goodness.
The noun definition is an act of slapping, especially on the buttocks, as a punishment for children.
As a punishment, yeah.
But in the context that we're talking about, it is funny that that's part of the
No, it is. But I am interested in the pain thing, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I've always been a picker of my skin, but I have zeroed in. I'm going through a breakup right now. So I've zeroed in on my eyebrows as the thing to pick.
Yeah.
And it's been an issue in the past, but it's just really kind of like...
That's like a nervous habit.
It's a nervous habit. It's ramped up over the last about month and a half. It's gotten worse and worse. Mm-hmm. And I had a friend, I was complaining to a friend of mine about it, and I'm like trying not to do it right now. And I was saying like...
Triggered.
I know. But I was telling her, I was like, I don't know why, but it feels so good when I like press my fingernails into like my brow bone and feel the flesh start to break until I bleed. And she knew immediately what it was. And she said, you're feeling adrenaline. Mm-hmm. She's like, the pain is causing you adrenaline and you're looking for the adrenaline kick.
Well, I think I've read somewhere where the pain and pleasure parts that are triggered in your brain are like really close to each other, and maybe that's why they're so often connected. Because I agree with you. There's things that are supposed to hurt that sometimes feel good, like plucking my eyebrows actually feels good, and it's supposed to hurt. Yeah, but because I don't know. So I wouldn't. I don't know if it's always sexual though.
Maybe not.
It's pleasurable. You know, not all pleasure is sexual.
Of course not. But I think it's pretty standard to connect the two if you are, you know, particularly desiring of one. Mm-hmm. So like I'm horny and I'm getting an adrenaline rush. I'm probably gonna, you know, get hornier, I guess, is my thought.
So what this says, the internet, according to Pain and Pleasure, endorphins that are released in painful experiences are often perceived as pleasurable. Stress and pain can also stimulate the serotonin and melatonin production in the brain, which transforms painful experiences into pleasure. The release of epinephrine and No,
more words.
Norepinephrine in pain can also cause a pleasurable rush.
That kind of makes sense, though, that your brain would, when you're feeling pain, try to fix it by being like, pleasure, endorphins, come on, let's not break down, come on, we have to work here.
Hey, you guys, the brain is a weird little chunk of meat that does a lot. It's like doing stuff all the time.
It doesn't.
It gets confused.
It doesn't. Well, yeah, it doesn't stop doing stuff. We make it do extra stuff, and then we sleep, but then we don't even sleep. We dream, and it's still working, and it still works when we wake up and we have to like get coffee.
And it's firing synapses all over the place. I mean, of course we have weird fetishes. The brain's like, hey, ew, that foot's sexy, isn't it? Look at that foot. It's so sexy. And you're like,
All right, okay, all right, brain, I get
Okay.
you. Yeah, I believe you. I'm into it.
we're going to have to call a man about
Yeah.
this. Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. So what should we ask him? We're going to have to figure that out.
We are gonna figure it out. We are gonna call a guy.
I don't want to just outright be like, what's your fetish?
Yeah, I know. We'll figure it out. We'll
Yeah.
have a good question to ask our gentleman friend.
Yeah. So
All right, we'll be right back.
bam.
Ask a guy. We need a man's opinion, so we'll ask a guy.
Hola.
Hello, Carlos. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to Crudimentary Questions. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
So we're talking about fetishes
Yes, we are.
and
Oh, kinky.
kinky. And, we've been very welcoming to a bunch of different ideas. We're not necessarily going to try them all, but,
Yeah.
we're open.
We're not judging these fetishes. We are just discussing them.
Yes. And so we want to ask you, what was the first fetish that you were exposed to, if you remember? Like, not necessarily you've tried, but something that you learned when you were a kid, maybe.
Like in middle school.
Like that made me excited in a sexual manner. Like one of the first things that was kind of like not just a girl's boobs or her butt,
yeah,
but
so
like
something that's not normally sexual and maybe it's not something that necessarily excited you. You're just like, people like that? Weird. I mean, I like that, but it could be something that you liked. I don't know. Up to you, buddy.
Well, costumes have always been a nice thing that I've liked. Various cosplays and whatnot.
Yeah.
Everybody, the schoolgirl and the cheerleader, those are the obvious ones. But, nowadays they're so intricate. You can really get anybody to dress up like anything that you want to.
I love cosplay as well. Like
Yeah, there's
when they go all in.
Yeah, there's some pretty hot cosplays. So like, what is well, I guess we're saying cosplay instead of costumes, but like, what is something that you would like to see? Like when was the first time you found costumes attractive?
Well, in the 90s, there was a big wave of comic book superheroines that were very busty, curvy, shapely, and just kind of over the top. That's the whole being drawn by men. That's what we desire and lust. I'd have to say that pretty much any one of the X-Men girls
Okay.
would have done it for me very easily. In particular, Rogue.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I think the nice thing about Rogue is she can't touch you.
Oh,
And
it's
that's something erotic
so
there where she's not
sexy.
supposed
Exactly.
to touch you.
Oh, you want her to when she's got those gloves on, and that like
It's like it's forbidden. She can't touch you, but we're gonna touch. We're gonna figure it out.
Ooh, and she's got that
If
streak
there has to
in
be
her
like
hair.
a whole layer of lube to protect me, I'll do it.
I always thought Mystique was hot because she's like basically naked most of the time.
Yeah,
Mystique.
Yeah,
Mhm.
with the body paint and
whatnot.
And I don't mind the blue. honestly.
No, that's. I mean, those titties are titties, man. Those
Mm-hmm.
those titties be tittin', you know.
Yeah.
Blue.
And I mean, in
blue or
particular,
peach.
for each super heroine, there comes maybe advantage or disadvantage, I don't know, of their superpowers. Like Storm, stuff will get tingly. Oh yeah.
Electricity.
Jean Grey can do anything really. She can make you think that she's somebody else. She can probably do stuff without her having to actually touch you. She just thinks that gets you to think that she's touching you.
Man, so well, this seems like, is it so much costumes or is it the characters?
Superheroes.
Well, I mean, I would love to see my significant other wearing any one of those costumes.
Yeah,
Oh,
you would.
My gosh. I could see her being Wonder Woman.
Oh, her birthday is
She would
coming
make a
up.
great Wonder Woman.
We have a present to get for this lady.
Oh, you're right.
So I wasn't into DC. I was always a Marvel guy. So
Okay.
Wonder Woman is kind of Wonder Woman is kind of vanilla to me. She doesn't. I mean, don't get me wrong, Gal Gadot and the Wonder Woman.
yeah.
That's always. But her. But no, like comic book Wonder Woman. Like I remember watching Super Friends and stuff like that.
No.
Just didn't do it for me.
She was a little vanilla. Like the invisible ship didn't seem very helpful to me.
No,
Because she wasn't invisible.
She's gonna lasso me and make me tell her the truth, and then that's gonna ruin the mood. No. Here's what's going to happen. She's going to lasso me, and then she's going to be all like, so where's this relationship going? You know, she's going to have to talk with me, and I'm going to be like, this is just for fun. And then she'll be like, get out of here. And then it's not even going to happen.
So what would you want her to dress up as? Do you want the Rogue outfit or the Jean Grey outfit? Those
are both good ones.
Maybe it could just be a rotation.
The first pick would definitely be Rogue.
Okay.
And like I said specifically, that 90s era Rogue with the white streak that goes all the way down. And she's kind of like rough around the edges. Oh, this is also based on the X-Men cartoon that came out at around that time as well.
Very good. And I'm similar to you in that I'm kind of interested in the furry community. So costumes are a thing there. And I was also attracted to a cartoon, the fox from Robin Hood.
Yep.
Oh, yes. Mr. Fox, Mr. Sly Fox.
Well, I think a lot of us were attracted to that fox, to be fair.
Well, I mean, Maid Marian was cute. I liked her.
Heck
oh,
yeah.
So, hey, how did you feel about Nala in The Lion King?
I mean, she definitely wanted it. She was like, as soon as she knew that was Simba, she was basically like pulsating heat from her region.
I know what you're
giving
talking
him
about.
bedroom eyes and flirting and laughing and giggling.
During Can You Feel the Love Tonight, they definitely had sex.
Oh, totally.
On camera.
Like intense, overt sexuality. Come on, Disney.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, let's be clear. Those lions fucked.
Yeah, they did.
But would you, like, if somebody, like, dressed up as Nala from The Lion King, do you think you would be into that? Would you want to, like, or if your significant other dressed up as Nala? Like, I know you're into Rogue, but...
More than likely, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when you get down to it, you're getting some.
Yeah.
And that's what counts.
And I think that's the thing we're trying to say about fetishes is that, hey, don't knock it till you try it.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a go. If it's not for you, that's fine. But at least, give it a go.
Entertain the notion.
I don't think I would choose Nala, though, if I was going animal furry style.
Ooh, who would you choose?
I might go more so, you know who I had a thing for? I forget what her name was, but it was the Chick Mouse in Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Yes.
Oh, she was so cute.
Yes.
Was it like Gidget? Was that her name?
Gidget. That's
Gidget.
She had blonde hair for some reason, and Gidget Rescuer. Sorry, I'm looking it up. Oh, we just did an internet section, and oh yeah, she's a cute little button.
Can you show me a picture?
She
Jill,
is,
just so I
isn't
can
she?
remember-
You know
remember
what?
who it is?
That might be who I would furry as.
Oh my! No, she is a button.
It's a very durable costume.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
could do that with a wig and some mouse ears and some goggles. I mean,
A
yeah.
lot of
Boom.
people don't know this, but Jill is a master of costumes.
Am I?
Nailed
You
it.
are. Yes, you did my Rufio costume.
Oh, I
so-
did help you with that. I enjoyed Carlos's costume. My favorite Carlos costume was when he went as Willy Wonka.
Oh, it was amazing.
Oh yeah.
He was throwing out
I think the
candy.
most fun of that costume was throwing candy at people rather aggressively, and they couldn't do anything about it because number one is Halloween, you get
Yeah.
candy. Number two, I'm Willy Wonka. That's what I do.
I throw candy.
I just have a very vivid memory of us walking downtown Nashville, the main strip, and Carlos just runs ahead of us throwing candy to the left and to the right, and he wasn't running, he was skipping.
He was skipping. Yeah, he was doing a little. He was doing a little jig. He was skipping.
There's a little pep in my step.
It
Well,
was great.
And I bet your love for costumes comes from being in theater,
Oh,
There
that's
you go.
Excellent point.
My favorite Jill costume was the Labyrinth Dareth costume.
I was gonna say that's the one I was thinking about.
Yeah, so
It's
I went
fantastic.
going as the Goblin King from Labyrinth was a whole other layer of feeling a sexualness that I didn't even know I had. Of course, I was David Bowie, but I also had that ball that he juggles,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
which I also used as a crotch piece
Yeah.
because he's got the bulge through the entire film. And it was something about having the bulge. I just walked up to a random person at the bar, I remember, and I just let the bulge kind of speak for itself at this complete
Wow.
stranger.
Oh my God.
Did you put it on people? Just rub it, tap it.
I might have done it to my
Check it
husband
out.
Yeah.
a couple of times.
Okay.
Again, I just
Okay, but here's the question: was he aroused or repulsed?
Well, we'd have to ask
Hmm.
him.
I think that mostly he laughed. So I think it was more of just a funny thing and less of a, let's get it on later with this David Bowie. I don't think he's necessarily as into costumes and stuff as I am. I mean, he hates dressing up for Halloween every year, and he does it because he's a good sport and all,
Yeah.
because I love it. But yeah, he's
Yeah.
not into it.
But I really like that idea that the idea of turning into somebody else just via an outfit, like a costume, is so attractive. And you're totally right. And I've felt that myself, and I've seen that myself. And and I
And
think
you kind of become that character. You feel like you're that person. You can maybe say or do things that you normally wouldn't would.
ooh, you're right. You put on a whole show.
Yes.
Ooh, it's so
I
great.
am into this, and now I think that we should join some sort of fan club of some sort. I feel like cosplaying could be a thing we could do, and not necessarily in a fetish sexual way, but just in a fun, it sounds fun.
Well, it's a way to feel a different thing than normal. So hey, Carlos, we thank you so much for taking our call again today, and we just always appreciate your input. And we're gonna let you go.
Yeah, so we'll call you again, I'm sure, and ask you more awkward questions on our podcast.
Sounds great. Love it.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, Carla.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, so that is our episode. Thank you so much for listening to us talk about stuff we don't know anything about.
Yeah, uneducated.
Hashtag uneducated.
Hashtag no research.
Yeah.
Barely any research.
Yeah.
And thank you to Carlos, our number one call a guy. He's incredibly interesting and funny, and I'm so glad he brought up cosplay because I forgot about that. I mean, yeah, I talked about role play and getting in furry costumes, but then there's a whole other. There's so many options out there.
Yeah.
Sandy,
There are a lot of costumes you can wear.
I feel like we're not living.
We're really not. I could be a Power Ranger.
You could be.
I could dress up as the pink Power Ranger.
Don't be cliche. You could be any color you
I
want.
could also be the yellow Power Ranger.
You
or
could
the-
be a whole different color. You could
Yeah.
be a rainbow Power Ranger.
Oh
if you
my
wanted.
goodness, that'd be so hot. And I keep the mask on while we fuck. Yes,
Yeah, I mean, I'd try it.
I'd do it, man.
I would try that.
I'd do it. Yeah.
I'm not really into Power Rangers.
Yeah, I'm not either, but I just thought their costumes look cool. So, but anyway, I will find something to wear. And
Ninja Turtles, maybe.
oh my god, I would so fuck a Ninja Turtle. I would fuck a Ninja Turtle.
I was oddly attracted to Michelangelo. It was
but
weird.
me too.
It was weird.
No, well, okay, like Leonardo also.
Kind of hot.
And Donatello with
And
his
their
like
turtles.
fixing stuff. Yeah, the
What's happening?
turtles. And Raphael, I don't know what it was about Raphael, but he could just go die in
And
a
let's
fire.
not even
Like,
bring
I
up
just,
Casey Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Because
it gets weirder
it gets
and weirder.
the hockey
and
mask.
then you're like, are we like, is this bestiality or
is this just cartoons that we're into?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's called human sexuality. It's complicated and it is fun.
Yay! Well, thanks for listening to the show, and till next time.
Till next time.
Stay crude, my dudes.